The French Basque Country or Northern Basque Country, situated within the western part of the French department of the Pyrénées-Atlantiques, constitutes the northeastern part of the Basque Country. With 2,869 square kilometers, it is delimited in the north by the Department of Landes, in the west by the Bay of Biscay, in the south by the Southern Basque Country, and in the east by Béarn, which is the eastern part of the department. Bayonne and Biarritz are its chief towns. It is a popular tourist destination and is somewhat distinct from neighboring parts of either France or the Southern Basque Country, since it was not industrialized as Biscay or Gipuzkoa and remained agricultural and a beach destination. Basques describe the Northern Basque Country as the union of three French provinces in the northeast of the traditional Basque Country: Lower Navarre, until 1789, Kingdom of Navarre, 1,284 square kilometers; Labourd, 800 square kilometers; Soule, 785 square kilometers. Its Basque name is Iparralda, while the part of the Basque Country located in Spain is called Hegoalda. Its population has been 126,493, 162,365, 226,749, 259,850, 262,000. According to an inquiry of 2006, 22.5% were bilinguals, 8.6% were French speakers who understand Basque, and 68.9% were not Basque speakers. But the results were very different in the three zones. In the inner land, 66.2% speak or understand Basque. In the coast the figure stands at 36.9%, and in the BAB urban zone only 14.2% speak or understand Basque. The proportion of French Basque bilingual speakers fell from 26.4% in 1996 to 22.5% in 2006. There is a Basque nationalist political movement, born in 1963 with the Mbata movement and now with Abertzalean Batasuna and others, which seeks a split of Pyrénées-Atlantiques into two French departments, Pays Basque and Béarn. Some other nationalist parties are EAJ, each and Batasuna, which have a reduced, almost symbolic presence, especially when compared to the Southern Basque Country. These political parties historically receive fewer than 15% of the votes in the district elections. In the 1980s and 1990s, a paramilitary group called Iparratarat used violence to seek independence. It has been inactive in recent years. On January 29, 1997, the area was made an official Pays of France under the name of Pays Basque, that is, a representative body promoting several activities, but without its own budget. History. Antiquity. The present-day territory was inhabited by the Tarbeli and the Sibylates, tribal divisions of the Aquitaine. When Caesar conquered Gaul, he found all the region south and west of the Garonne inhabited by a people known as the Aquitaine, who were not Celtic and are modernly regarded as Basques. In the early Roman times, the region was first known as Aquitania, and later, when the name Aquitania was extended until the Loire River, as Novum Populania or Aquitania Tertia. Middle Ages. After the Basque rebellions against Roman feudalism in the late 4th and 5th century, the area eventually formed part of the independent Duchy of Vasconia, a blur ethnic polity stretching south of the Garonne River that broke up from the 8th to 9th century following the Carolingian expansion, the pressure of Norman raids and feudalism. The county of Vasconia was created extending around the Eddo River. In this period, northern Basques surely participated in the successive battles of Roncesvalles against the Franks, in 778, 812 and 824. Count Sans Sanchin detached from the Franks and became the independent commander of Vasconia. but got involved in the Carolingian dynastic wars over succession after taking over Bordeaux, supporting the young Pepin II to the throne of Aquitaine. He became Duke of Vasconia after submitting to Charles the Bald. At this point, Basque language was losing ground to vulgar and written Latin and was increasingly confined to the lands around the Pyrenees. Since 963, the town Saint Sever is mentioned as Caput Vasconiae, interpreted by some as limit of Vasconia, while others take it as prominence of Vasconia on account of its location on a hill overlooking the plains of Vasconia. The lands to the south of the Eddo became laboured, encompassing initially a bigger region than the later territory around the Nive and the coast. In 1020 Gascony ceded its jurisdiction over laboured, then also including Lower Navarre, to Sancho the Great of Pamplona. This monarch made it a viscounty in 1023. The area became disputed by the Angevin dukes of Aquitaine until 1191, when Sancho the Wise and Richard Lionheart agreed to divide the country, laboured remaining under Angevin sovereignty and Lower Navarre under Navarrese control. Meanwhile, Seoul was constituted as an independent viscounty, generally supported by Navarre against the pretensions of the counts of Bearn, though at times also it admitted a certain Angevin overlordship. With the end of the Hundred Years' War, laboured and Seoul passed to the Crown of France as autonomous provinces. After the conquest of Upper Navarre by Castile in 1512–21, the still independent North Pyrenean part of Navarre took the lead of the Huguenot party in the French Wars of Religion. In this time the Bible was first translated into the Basque language. Eventually Henry III of Navarre became King of France but kept Navarre as a formally independent state, until in 1620–1624 this separation was suppressed. In 1634, Axiola gives in his literary work Gero a rough description of the extent of Basque at the time, with the language comprising all the provinces now known as Basque Country, and, in so many other places. After Axiola's accomplished book, other Basque writing authors followed suit, especially in Labad, a district thriving on whale hunting. In 1579 an important handbook for navigation was published by Martin O'Ehartzabal, the navigational pilot, offering guidance and useful landmarks found in Newfoundland and other Basque traditional fisheries. In 1677 it was translated to Basque by Pierre Etcheberry. However, during the 17th and 18th century that activity saw a gradual decline as the English took over from the Basques. Modern period. The three northern Basque provinces still enjoyed great autonomy until the French Revolution suppressed it radically, as it did elsewhere in France, eventually creating the department of Basses Pyrénées, half Basque and half Gascon. Third Estate representatives of the Basque provinces attending the Estates General of 1789 and the following national assemblies in Paris rejected the imposition of an alien political administrative design, regarding the events with a blend of disbelief and indignation. The brothers Garrett, representatives of Labad, defended against a hostile audience the specificity of their province and that of the Basques, putting forward instead the establishment of a Basque department. However, eventually the brothers Garrett from Labad voted for the new design out of hopes to get a say in future political decisions. Besides prohibiting the native Basque language for public use, an indiscriminate mass deportation of civilians followed, resulting in the expulsion from their homes of thousands and a death toll of approx. 1,600 in Labad. The Basques started to be forcibly recruited for the French army, with large numbers of youths in turn deciding to run away or defect among allegations of mistreatment, so starting a trend of exile and emigration to the Americas that was to last for more than a century. It became a matter of concern discussed by Napoleon Bonaparte and Dominique Garrett. As of 1814, traditional cross-Pyrenean trade fell conspicuously, starting a period of economic stagnation. Eventually, trade across the Pyrenees border was cut off after the First Carlist War, with large numbers further departing to the Americas in search for a better life. In Seoul, the emigration trend was mitigated by the establishment circa 1864 of a flourishing espadrille industry in Morlaix that attracted workers from Roncal and Aragon too. Others took to smuggling, a rising source of revenue. The mid-1800s were years of decay and yearning for the good old times before the French Revolution. The Basques divided into republicans, laicist Jacobins, and royalists, with the latter prevailing among the Basques. Shepherding and small mining and agricultural exploitations were the main economic activities, along with an increased presence of customs officials, both local and non-Basques. The railway arrived at Hendaye in 1864, increasing the flow of freight and people from outside the Basque country that replaced, especially on the coast, native inhabitants by non-Basque population, with Biarritz as the most revealing case. In a colony depeuplement type of settlement, elitist tourism gained momentum as of 1854, as the high nobility chose to take healing baths in spa resorts and get close to nature. In 1851, the first Lorjoko took place in Aruna, organized by the scholar of Basque-Irish origin Antoine de Bardi, followed by several more editions up to 1897. Other political and cultural events in fellow Basque districts to the south of the Pyrenees had an impact in the French Basque country, especially in church-related circles, the only institution that still spoke to the people in their language. That could not prevent Basque language from further receding to local and domestic circles. In 1914, Basque ceased to be the trading language with the local middle and higher class customers at the Morlaix marketplace. The Basques could not avoid getting entangled in World War I when they were drafted to the front, while across the border Gipuzkoa and Biscay thrived on their shipbuilding and steel processing industry supplying the European war effort. Continental Basques under the age of 49 were required to the front of northeast France. From the beginning, and as the slaughter of the trenches wore on, thousands of Basques subjected to military service, defected and fled to the south or the Americas. However, war took a heavy toll. 6,000 died in the front, a 3% of the French Basque population. It also produced the idea in the Basque psyche of being a component part of the French nation, fostered by the above weekly Escuel Dinner on the grounds that God champions France culture. Northern Basques continue to practice many Basque cultural traditions. The town of Saint-Pierre-Couty-sur-Nivelle is well known for its Herat celebration. Economy. The Northern Basque Country has 29,759 companies, 107 companies for 1,000 inhabitants, and an annual growth of 4.5%. 66.2% of companies are in the tertiary sector, 14.5% in the secondary sector, and 19.3% in the primary sector. This includes an AOC wine, Iraleg IAOC. Although the Northern Basque Country is part of the Pyrenees Atlantiques for most administrative entities, it does have its own chamber of commerce and a distinct economy with a pole of competences around the board sports industry, including companies such as Quicksilver and Volcom based on the Basque coast.